Being consistent is a really valuable trait. If you can reliably show up every day and get work done, it is inevitable that one will succeed. Being consistent allows you to move forwards in your goals, slowly and steadily. However, being consistent is a trait that does not come naturally to most people. Consistency is something that eludes many people, and it is something that needs to be trained. Consistency is that one trait that if you can secure down, you'll be good for the rest of your life. But consistency isn't that easy to develop, and through this video, I will show you how you can become a more consistent person in your productivity and how you can become that person who constantly moves towards their goals, stable in their work ethic. But before we jump to this video, don't forget to subscribe. We're getting close to 20 subscribers. Anyways, let's get into the video. A few days ago, I saw a post on Reddit that was talking about how one could be more consistent. After reading it through, I found the post quite relatable because, I'll be honest, I'm not as consistent with my productivity as I would like to be. The writer of the post mentioned how they would have super productive bursts, pockets of huge motivation, and then would fall into periods of no work at all. I'm sure that this is relatable to many people, and it is a pretty big problem once you think about it. So, I decided I would do a little research into this problem and figure out how we could be more consistently productive, and what I found was quite interesting. The first question I wanted to tackle is, why are we so inconsistent? And the biggest reason I found was self-doubt. Inconsistency comes from procrastination, and self-doubt is a huge part of procrastination. Think about it this way. Maybe one day you listen to a motivational speech, and you get all pumped up and motivated, and you get tons of work done. And then the next day you wake up tired, and that voice inside of your head is telling you, why are you doing this? You don't have what it takes to be great, so there's no point in trying at all. And you will listen to that voice and quit. And this becomes a never-ending cycle of short bursts of motivation and periods of no work. Sounds familiar, right? The thing is, self-doubt is actually a harmful mindset. You might not notice this, but every time you set a new goal, this mindset turns up to bully you in the form of a tiny voice inside of you telling you that you know you will quit in a few days and there's no point in starting at all. If you can remove this mindset and replace it with a mindset that plainly expects you to show up, do your work, and keep trudging along the path no matter what happens, you'll be able to break this constant cycle of inconsistency. Doing a little work each day is better than no work at all. Heck, doing a little work each day is much better than doing a mountain of work one day and then slacking off for a week. If you can replace that tiny voice inside of you that tells you that you will inevitably fail with a simple expectation that you will succeed, then you will be able to succeed. Many times, that unconscious message that you send to yourself is preventing you from actually succeeding. The brain is a strange phenomenon that has a large impact on our performance, and if you can adopt a healthy and a determined mindset, you'll be able to achieve the things that you set out to achieve. So, how can we really be more consistent? I think that the secret lies in your mindset. There's a few large mindsets that you need to adopt. First one that I mentioned above, being more determined and confident in success. The other one is the mindset of just do it, which is sort of tied into the last mindset I mentioned. This advice may seem oversimplified, but it's actually not. Note that when I say just do it, I mean just do something. Doing something is better than doing nothing. And if you can actually get started and do something, it gets so much easier to continue and do something more productive. The third mindset is based off a quote from Steve Jobs. He said, "I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today?" And whenever that answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. I found that quote really helpful because it really digs into the more philosophical side of life. And one of the best motivating factors in my life is my purpose. And if one can find their own purpose on this earth, it becomes so much easier to get your butt out of bed in the morning. This also applies to the tactic of using time pressure. If today were the last day of my life. Another good tactic of thinking is thinking as if you only had 6 months left to live. Death is something that most people don't like to think about, but it's a real thing, and I can assure you, when you're on your deathbed, you won't have wished that you watched more YouTube or played more video games, unless you're some sort of gaming YouTuber. You won't have wished that you procrastinated longer or had watched more Netflix. Thinking of the reality of the length of life is a really good motivational factor as well. The fourth mindset is to identify as someone who is successful. For example, do you think that CEOs slack off all day and watch tons of Netflix? Do you think that they spend hours playing video games? Most likely, no. So if you can start to act like a CEO, or not even a CEO, simply a successful person, if you start to identify as one, you'll be able to become one. Like I said earlier, if I haven't rubbed this into your mind yet, here it is again. A lot of what we are depends on our mindset and how we think. If you have a negative mindset, if you believe that you are unproductive, you will be inconsistent and unsuccessful. But if you have a positive mindset, if you believe that you're productive and have what it takes to be successful, you will be. The last topic isn't a mindset, but it is to use habits and systems. This is another topic that I bring up repeatedly on my channel. Habits and routines can typically be counted on to be carried out regardless of how motivated you are. They are much more reliable than counting on your motivational levels to see if you can get things done. At the core of habits and routines is consistency, and if you can build reliable habits and routines, you're so much better off than your peers whose productivity depends on how inspired they are in the moment. Habits and routines work best when you're not feeling your best and you're not feeling as motivated, and they can carry you through periods of demotivation. If you want to learn more on how you can build habits, check out my video linked in the cards. Being consistent is a large factor in many things. For me, my happiness, my productivity, and my general well-being. Being inconsistent often makes me unhappy, makes me feel upset, and makes me feel like I'm not getting anything done, and it's true, I am not getting anything done. But I try to be kind to myself and not beat myself up in inconsistent times, which is a practice that you should take up if you don't already. I used to and still will sometimes talk myself down if I make a single mistake, and it would only make me feel more upset and less productive, which would quickly spiral down into a deadly cycle, which it became almost impossible to climb out of. So be kind to yourself, and if you're not perfectly consistent just yet, it's alright. One thing that I constantly strive for is being more consistent, and consistency is a really valued trait in people. If you can learn how to be more consistent, you can become even more indispensable to your future employers and become a valuable worker and successful in the long term. Our brains and our thoughts have a larger impact on us than most people think. Realizing how influential our mindset is on our overall well-being is a turning point in my life. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. This tells the YouTube algorithm that you like my videos, and it will push it out to more people so I can have a larger impact on this platform. It also helps me keep track of what type of videos my audience likes to see so I can deliver on my audience's wishes. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay productive.